Yeah. So, King, why'd you stop reviewing Magi? Why'd you stop reading Magi? Bruh, listen. Unless you hear me say I have dropped Magi and I won't read it or review it, don't make the assumptions that I freaking stopped reading and reviewing Magi. No! In fact, I am up to date. That's right. I am up to date with Magi. When it came to reviewing Magi, for some reason, I forgot what the reason was, shit just got out of hand. And it happens sometimes. It does. But don't assume that I've stopped reading something or I've stopped reviewing unless I say so. I will make an announcement video. I have stopped reviewing Magi because of X, Y, and Z. Don't make the assumptions for me. I will let you know. My God. So I'm here today to talk about because there's a lot of material that I haven't talked about when it pertains to Magi. And a lot of crazy shit has happened. And as we speak, even more crazy shit is occurring. You have the fight between Judar and Aladdin. And then you have Alibaba and Hakuryuu. Aladdin just pulled some fucking vector shit. I was like, whoa. I was like, God damn, that was impressive. Fucking Solomon over here. I'm like, fuck. Like father, like son. But I'll talk about that at some point this week. Yes, that's right. I will catch up completely this week in Magi. Guarantee you. I'm here right now doing 5 chapters in one video. Well, okay. Not really chapters, because I want to talk about specifically the fight between Ren and GYOKUEN Arba versus her son, Hakuryuu. And this was impressive. Judar was impressive. Hakuryuu was impressive. Ren GYOKUEN, whoa. So, let me start by saying this. I like the way things worked out with Hakuryuu at the end of the damn day. Because I think he's completely taken the wrath of Il-Ila and he has made it his own. He has transformed the wrath of Ren GYOKUEN and he's made it his own. Now granted, I'm not too sure if she's actually dead or not. I don't know. Because at the end of chapter 250, you have Hakuryuu, he asks Judar, is she really dead? And Judar says, yeah, she's fucking dead, man. We cut her head off and she blew up. Her roof went out too. But the fact that Hakuryuu asks that question makes me really wonder if she's actually dead or not. Because when Hakuryuu asked that question, it was either in the context of two things. Number one, is she actually dead? She may still be alive somewhere, hiding, waiting in the shadows for the right time to strike. Or, number two, Ren GYOKUEN is dead. My mother is dead. Is this reality? Is she really dead? And what do we do from now? And the context at the end of chapter 250 seems to flow in the direction of the latter. Where you have Hakuryuu now have his ambition set in stone. They're gonna fight the world. They're gonna continue to fight until they're gonna continue to fight anything that rejects them on this planet. And that's the way it is. And they're gonna start off by taking out Kohen. He had it, he played it as if like it was some type of justice, but no, and it's not justice, all right. Well, it is, but it's extremely warped to the point where it's really not justice. But it is justice. So, we have a quote from Judar that I'm going to read in chapter 250. And the quote is, and I quote, "You can't continue to live without directing your wrath towards someone, right? Even if you defeat Kohen after GYOKUEN, you will transfer that hate to someone else, right? The two of us will probably keep on fighting everything in this world that rejects us, even after there's no one left in the world. So the end result will pan out to be something similar to that of Almatoron. But we continue, we're not done yet. Because we are that kind of human after all. And that's fine with me. Brothers of Darkness, welcome to the fold. Rocking all black from now on. Fuck it. This is a huge moment. Because this is the no turning back moment of Hakuryuu. At least that's what I think. I mean, because I don't want to say in the future that Alibaba is going to be able to actually bring Hakuryuu back like he wants to. I don't think he should. I think that Magi is a hardcore enough story to where Hakuryuu ain't going to come back. To where he's going to stay in darkness forever until he's defeated, until he's killed. That's what I really feel. But then again, a lot of times this happens where, oh, I'm in the darkness, I'm never gonna come back, dive in the darkness, dun, 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 and then fucking last chapter, oh, I realized my ways, you were right, I can't be a true Okage. You get my point. You get my point. So, I'm hoping that doesn't happen in this series. I'm really fucking hoping that Hakuryuu goes out the way he goes out on the path he set for himself. I can see that with Judar. I really can. But at the same time, I can see the opposite. Well, I can see the opposite happening as well. So, now getting on to the chapters aside from 250. Because 250 is where we have GYOKUEN actually she gets her head cut off. She gets decapitated. And then she blows up. And her root goes out too. So she's dead. But the fight itself was actually pretty darn good, to say the least. I'm like... I mean, first of all, before the actual invasion, Hakuryuu was testing out his new Jin that he just got. I can't say... Listen, I'm going to butcher the name, and I apologize, alright? I'm going to butcher it. But I'm going to say Belial or Belal, something like that, okay? I apologize, alright? Either way. Because I know some dudes, oh my god, you're butchering the name. I know I'm butchering the name. And I have no idea why I did this, but fuck, I did that. Alright, whatever. I'm butchering the name. And I apologize. Way in advance. But my pronunciation of some of these names is poor at best. Alright? In this retrospect, I'm too American to pronounce these names. It is what it is. I apologize. I'll work on it in the future. But the future is not now. This is the present. Now, and in your case, the past, since this video is going to be uploaded long after I do the video. It is what it is. Now, listen. This Jin, the fact that he could actually correlate, or he could coordinate these two Jins together, Belial and Zagan. What the fuck, man? Like, that was some really surprising shit. And he was manipulating the memories through Belial and also putting like plants inside like people's heads, in their brains. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? That really, he's putting plants in brains. It's like a weird mod on Plants vs. Zombies. I'm like, this is fucking weird, man. This is weird, but they're effective. That's the scary part too. They're effective, very effective. Their soldiers are a few times stronger than the average soldier because they were always force-fed these images of Koen killing his family. I'm like, jeez. For like days on end, too. I'm like, what the fuck, Hakuryuu? But that's what listen. I mean, another reason why I don't think he's turning back. It's so hard for me to actually believe that he's going to turn back. But somewhere in my heart of hearts, somewhere in my Kingdom Hearts, I believe that he is going to turn back. And I'm like, fuck. Now, you have them invade after they test out what they can do with their powers. And they even manipulated the old dudes that are always near GYOKUEN, the puppets. And when they invade strong off the gate. And I gotta say, my distaste for Koen increased a little bit, not because of what Hakuryuu was doing and the images, but because of the fact that he had Phoenix contain Hakuryuu's malice. And it was pretty much like, I don't care what happens to Hakuryuu, he can be in the greatest of pain, doesn't matter. Because if Hakuryuu doesn't want to kill, or if we can contain his hatred for his mother, and it doesn't matter if he suffers in any type of emotional pain, that doesn't mean shit. Because the kingdom is going to be okay. The co-empire is going to be a-okay. Nah, man, nah. Koen, nah, man, that wasn't cool, dude. It really wasn't cool. I'm like, what the fuck, Koen? I mean, I can see why he did it full on. But I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? Seriously? You're gonna have Hakuryuu contain all of his malice and have Phoenix, like, torture this guy mentally when that little egg actually cracks. I'm like, it's fucked up, bro. Nah, that was really fucked up. That was really fucked up. But they broke out. Oh, hell yeah, he's a fucking knife. Ugh, fuck that shit. We out. I don't give a damn. Fuck Phoenix. My wrath, my rage will not cease. He's like Ashra. Just rage. Incarnate. I'm like, I like it. And then they come in there with the fucking spore fleet and shit. I'm like, yeah, this is hot. You had his boys riding spore monsters. They're taking on the soldiers on the ground. Hakuryuu, Judar walk in there like, yo, these two old generals, we won't let you pass. Fuck off. You guys have no ambition. You guys have no foundation. These guys, whoa, and they don't do shit. Because they know they're right to a certain extent. They know they're right. So in comes GYOKUEN versus Hakuryuu and Judar. Now, off the gate, I gotta say, it was very impressive that you had Judar pretty much be the one to take on GYOKUEN with a few attacks. And the fact that she actually beforehand, they manipulated all of the old dudes around them to fire at her. And they did. I was like, yo, what the fuck, man? I'm thinking, shit. But no. Fucking GYOKUEN. This got me so salty, son. She was using Arba's board. I mean, Arba was using... no, because she's an Arba. Arba was using Shiba's board, son. Oh, that got me so salty. You have no fucking idea. Oh, I'm still salty. I mean, she's dead now. I think. We hope. So, okay, there's some redemption there. But nah, I'm so fucking salty, dude. No. The moment she used Arba's board, I'm like, kill the bitch. Just kill the bitch. End it. Vaporize her. And she was using like these weird, like, at some point, Judar tries to give Hakuryuu root, but because it's black root, she can take it for herself, and she does. Then she does like this strike where like the freaking claws, like this giant claws on the ground. I'm like, what the fuck? She was disgustingly impressive. And then came the isolation barrier. That was shocking. Man. By himself, Judar used an isolation barrier to nullify all magic. Now, granted, Hakuryuu couldn't use his arm, but Phoenix's influence over his mind weared off, and she couldn't use any of her shit. In comes Hakuryuu. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. Oh, that shit got me hyped. Stop fucking falling. No takes. No, fuck it. I don't care. I stopped caring. And that shit got me so hyped. It really did. I'm like, fuck you, man. I'm like, yes. And he just, the beatdown session, like, I'm like, yes. Take her, man. He has his sword out, or he's gonna grab his sword. No. GYOKUEN, I'm back, bitches. And guess what? You forgot one very important thing. And I was like, oh, fuck, because I remembered Solomon is the god of the verse because his magic is just disgusting. But when it comes to swordsmanship, there was one better than him, and that was fucking Arba. And Arba is Rengyoku, and I was like, oh fuck. And then the moment I realized that, next panel, fucking strike, and I'm like, shit. And she was doing like some crazy shit with the sword too. It was very impressive. I'm like, fuck, man. She was going off the wall. Like, she's on some Prince of Persia shit, going off the walls and shit. Like, I'm like, god damn. She just won't fucking stop. In come the old guys. Fucking, I don't know what their names were, but Dragon Dude, Tiger Dude, alright? Ancient Chinese shit. With pole arms and shit. I'm like, fuck, these guys looking fierce. They come in there, they tag team with Hakuryuu. And they're okay, they're not bad. But she's still punking. And Judar can't do shit because he can't do any magic at this point in time because there's a barrier that he created. Furthermore, he's not a swordsman. He hasn't trained in swordsmanship, period. So he has to lead up to Hakuryuu and the two old guys. And she besses them. She does. The two old guys. They pretty much take most of the damage, and that's how that one dude lost his eye. He has his eye originally. Like I think it was like his right eye. It's there originally, but then, you know, it went bye-bye because of GYOKUEN. And to top it all off, they pretty much have their faces just slashed and cut on several levels. And then they fall down. They're done. Now this part is a little bit iffy because after this, Hakuryuu gets like some motivational shit going on. And then he starts to actually overwhelm. He starts to overwhelm Rengyoku. Because originally, she lost the sword that because the sword that she stole from Hakuryuu, that was cut in half by the two old guys and Hakuryuu. And then she picks up Hakuryuu's staff, his polearm, and she talks about the faith, how you guys don't understand faith, because she believes that, I mean, because in essence, if she goes, then these two youngins, in her mind, they're the ones that are going to be the embodiment of true darkness left in the world. And in her mind, they're not ready. They're not worth taking the love of Il-Ilah from her. And I mean, shit, she annihilated, well, I can't say annihilated, but she ruined life on the surface of an entire planet because of her faith for Il-Ilah. And you can see the embodiment of her faith in when she actually grabs that staff. It's a twisted image, and she's like naked with the fucking nipples, but I was not even close to being hard because it was creepy as fuck, and I'm like, it was like distorted and twisted. I'm like, what the hell? Grody. It was just nasty. But that's why it was depicted very well. Like that was one of the best pictures in the entirety of these 5 chapters. Just seeing that image of like that twisted figure, like when she grabs that staff and then she's lunging at them, and like it's a huge, like naked, decrepit chick. I can't even describe it. All I can do is like, she was just gross. Gross, man. And it was terrifying, but it had impact. It showed, like, honestly, that image, I think, was a means of depicting the weight of her existence. That's what I think, and how just dark and sinister it was. I can't describe it any other way, I really can't. So, then she takes up the old guys. Hakuryuu, again, he has this motivational shit going on. And through this motivational shit, he's able to actually beat out GYOKUEN. And that was pretty surprising, because I'm like, huh. So, like a mock motivational friendship, but then it's not friendship, it's pure rage. So, in essence, it was like a power-up in the midst of that battle, where he's actually able to best her. And then once he does best her, she stabs him. He cuts off his own polearm in half. She stabs him with the jagged edge. He bites off like a chunk of her neck. I'm like, fuck. And then she says, idiot, you bit me. Now, that may have an underlying message there. It could be as simple as, well, you bit her and she's pissed. Or it could be when he bit her, something transferred in that moment. Don't know. I'm not too sure. But it's possible. I wouldn't be that surprised. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I think it is possible that something may have happened in that moment when he bit her. And, well, I say bit. When he ripped off a chunk of her neck with his teeth. Yeah. It's more appropriate. And then she believes that she's won. She walks away. Like, yeah, I did it. I made it. I made it. I look up to the sky. She's like, yeah, I made it. Yeah. Now, in comes Judar. He pulled like some, like this was so Randy Orton. It was so like, oh, trip kick. Like, oh yeah. You're so close to the end of the barrier, but yet so far. And it comes Judar. I'm just kicking you. If it weren't for you, I would be so much more. I forgot. I'm like, what? Like, it's comical, and it's sad, but at the same time, it's refreshing. It's sad because it's kind of like Ren GYOKUEN. She's been a character of Wait for the entire the series thus far, and it's kind of like, it's like the end of a very long journey. That's what it is. And the chickens have come to roost. And in this form, the chicken coming to roost is Hakuryuu, bloodied, battered, and beaten, with the sword decapitating Ren GYOKUEN's head. Now that is one hell of a chicken, if you ask me, okay? And the fact that she still was, I mean, she played that card at the end. We're like, Hakuryuu? Where am I? What's going on? And he's like, nah, fuck that shit. I have a friend who had sex with a chick, and then she woke up, and she was like, Lewis? Like, where am I?